Welcome to Too Stupid for Web3, the show that makes sure you don't end up like me, too stupid to win. This week we have Mass Chef back for the winner's circle. Upland dropped some more stuff about uppies and more building structures. Little disappointment there. Totems is going on and harvest season announcements. So once again, busy week, and I didn't get into the crypto space, and so it's just Upland. I know that makes a lot of our listeners happy that it's just Upland and it's me talking Upland. So we'll get right into it. How we doing, Mass?
What is up? How you guys doing? Oh my
Good.
God. It was a crazy week in racing. Last week we had, it was a ton of fun. But yeah, it was crazy. It was absolutely nuts.
Yeah. Now, how are you liking this new format? I know it's brand new where you qualify for a week and your best times and all that, but how are you liking this new format so far for the season?
I think in general, I think it's going pretty good. Since it is our first season, I'm kind of taking notes in the background as to what's working, what we could improve on, some of those things, and once the season's over, we'll be having chats with with X1 and Upland and the racing team, and trying to, I'm sure we'll be tweaking some stuff for next season. So, but I think so far it's going very well. I was interested to hear what the final tally was for people that are racing. People that signed up to race, not actually racing, but people that signed up to race. The number was quite staggering based on, how many people are actually qualifying and racing. So, we'll get into that a little bit here, a little bit later as we go along. But cool. I have, and with that said, because there was so many people that signed up and we're into this, my big announcement is going to be at the end of my presentation here when we talk about racing, but everybody's going to want to stick around for it, because if you're not into racing yet, then by golly, you should get in, because what I've got to tell you is pretty cool. But hey, we'll jump right into it. If you want to go ahead and throw me up on the screen there.
Hey, really quick, how's that JetBlue flight coming in a week?
Oh, not going to make it. I'm just not, dude. I literally have tried everything I possibly can to figure out a way to do it, and it just, my life is saying no, it's not happening. So nice try, but
I found a cheap alternative for you.
I know you did. I know, and I certainly appreciate it. And one of these days we are going to get together. I promise you. I just don't know when that's going to be, but eventually the stars are going to align. The planets will be in the exact right orbit, and we'll be able to get together and hang for a while. So I absolutely look forward to that day for sure. But with that said, let's go ahead and jump into racing. Check out what happened last week. Of course, City Pigeon took the number 1 spot, won her 1976, grabbing number 2. JH 2271 grabbing that 3rd place spot. Ace, who had a massive qualifying run, both week 1 and 2, jumping in there in 4th place. Crowley 27 in 5th. KO Ninja coming in, grabbing a top 10 spot. The veteran racer in there with us. Meta Spook as well, grabbing top 10, number 7. Mike Benzie, fairly new driver to the professional circuit, grabbing a 8th place spot. By Bajo in 9th, and RDP, also fairly new to the professional circuit, grabbing the 10th there to wrap up the top 10. And as you can see, all of the top 24 players are collecting points from 40 on down to 7. So everybody got their hand in some points there. So that was good to see, and good to see some old and new in there. We've got a few new names in there. And a new being is in there. Batista grabbing some points. David Ozeda grabbing some points in there. So hopefully these guys are going to, stick to it and keep it up, and continue to jump up that leaderboard, because I think there's a lot of potential up there. But here's who qualified week number 2. Top 18 are highlighted there in yellow. City Pigeon, Vape High Guy, JR Wheels, Batista in there once again. But this time, not so far down the leaderboard, jumping up from the 24th spot up into 4th place in qualifying this week. And then Metaspook in there again. Cruiserito as always. Crawley 27. Another week with some interesting heats, and we'll point that out in just a minute. JH 2271 in there again. A696. Funky Beats grabbing a semifinals position for the second week in a row. RDP also. Cal Trading Co. in there. Cuddy Bow. Wander 1976. A new name that we haven't seen on the leaderboards just yet. Wamawa. Grabbing
Wamawa.
Wamawa. Yeah.
Wamawa. If you watch 31 Uplanders in 31 days, you'd know.
I know. I did. I mean, I'm going to remember. TB 125, KO Ninja in there again in the semifinals, and Neptune 104, another new racer into the semifinals this week. So, the positive is that we're getting new drivers in there. We're getting, and that was really the goal of this season, was to start to see some new faces in racing and try to expand that racing look a little bit. And I think that goal has been very much accomplished. But as I said, I think there is some tweaks that we'll end up doing before the start of next season. But let's check it out. Heat number 1, City Pigeon, Cruiserito, Crawley 27. And I'm starting to see a theme here because those three were in Heat 1 last week also. Driving in the now what the Upland Garage is now the Ultimate Garage. No affiliation with the Ultimate Racing League other than we race together.
That's a tough, and only 2 move on, right?
Only 2 from each heat move on. Yeah. So these guys have managed to get themselves in heat number 1 all at the same time for 2 weeks in a row, which means that their qualifying times fit into the snake order in just such a way that they end up in the same heat. So I look to see people starting to make moves. And as we start to see teams develop, which will happen naturally, in this type of format, as we move towards a team format, hopefully in the very near future, we'll start to see some of these teams develop and start to see some strategy a little bit on the back end as they learn how the snake order works and what positions are best to be in and so on and so forth. So we'll start to see a little bit of maneuvering in there as well. But then heat number 2, Vape High Guy, Metaspook, JH 2271, RDP, Wander 1976, and KO Ninja coming in there as well. KO has turned out to be quite the force. Starting out, been a spoiler a couple of times in last week's race. So glad to see him up in there. Looking forward to seeing him, have a little bit more success on the track as well. Heat number 3, we see JR Wheels. Now, one thing you got to know about JR Wheels. So he's got some wheels. He's got some wheels, and not only that, but most of the drivers, if they're running on a computer, are running with the keyboard. The arrow keys back and forth to change lanes, the spacer key to do their boost, whatnot. So JR is unique because he actually drives with the mouse and clicks the screen right and left to change his lanes.
What?
Rather than the keyboard. So the way that he drives is very unique, and been quite successful with it. He's he's one of the top racers over in the Upland Garage League as well. So
he needs to set up like a picture-in-picture of the race going on, and then a camera over
while
him on the mouse,
right? Yeah. While he's doing it, because I would love to see that.
I'm so intrigued by this. I'm like,
right.
Wow.
I know. But then we've got Batisto, A696, Funky Beats, Wamawa, and TB 125. Wamawa. I see. I'll never get that because my mouth doesn't make that sound. And this is where we're at, Gangsta's Paradise Rio. Now we have had some glitch reports on this track throughout the week. We've had a few reports. One was a shortcut report that I got early in the week between turns 3 and 6. Only happened once. I have not been able to duplicate it. The person that it happened to the first time hasn't been able to duplicate it. But then we've had a couple of races that were short a lap and a couple of races that were extended a lap or two. So, yeah, a couple of glitchy things on here. It has been reported over to the devs. They are taking a look at it. Hopefully we can get it sorted out before race day and don't have any issues with it. But if that happens, we'll just have to deal with it like we always do, kind of on the fly. Extra laps will obviously go, the finals will be based on the 3-lap finish. And whatever that order is, hopefully we can, even if we have to go back and take a look at replays or whatever to determine that, we will do that. So that'll hopefully get that straightened out if one of those issues come up. Now the 2-lapper, if we end up with one of those, what'll happen is we will redo the heat to try to get in a 3rd lap if we can. So in case those 2 scenarios come up, we'll just see what happens, but that's kind of where we are with it. But we'll see. Should be fun. This is a fast track, very fast track, actually. Only 12 turns, lots of places to boost. It is ridiculously fast for as long as it is. But then, so today we started qualifying on the Map Speedway. This is the Catmaster J course. Really, really crazy course. And also very deceptively fast.
Oh, wow.
2.39 miles. This thing's got 27 turns. It is a crazy track, but again, deceptively fast. And to just kind of put that in perspective a little bit, here's where we are with the qualifying so far for this week. We've got 13 qualifiers on the board right now. Batista at the top of the board with a 158.27. Compare that to last week's track, the Gangsters Rio track. CP put up a fast time of 153.27. So this track is about a quarter of a mile longer and only about 5 seconds slower. So comparatively, the tracks are pretty similar in time. But boy, is this thing fast for as long as it is. 2.27 miles and 27 turns, or 2.39 miles, sorry, and 27 turns. So crazy track, but it should be a lot of fun. I hope everybody's having fun on it. And again, I encourage everybody, yes, you want to get your qualifying times in. You definitely want to do qualifying typically when you're the only person on the track, whatnot. But I want to make sure everybody, show some love to the owner. Jump on this track with some friends. Do some UPIX stakes so that the owner can earn some UPIX while we're doing this on their track. We just want to show our appreciation for the track that they designed that we're using. So, jump on with some friends, have a good time, and put some UPIX on it and show some love for the owner there. So. And this is my big announcement for the week. So I want everybody to take a look at this. So our total prize purse, I just got the final number from the devs on Tuesday. So I waited until the day to bring this out so we could do it on your show. But our final prize purse for just this season, 8.872 million UPIX.
Wow, that's a lot of UPIX.
That is a ton of UPIX. And so this chart right here represents what the payouts are for each position. And the percentage of payouts that you get based on the position that you're in. And right now we're at 1.267 million UPIX per race being paid out to the top 24 drivers. So that is just insane. Now, with that said, I want to talk about that a little bit, because what that means is, so 1.2 million UPIX of this purse came from our sponsors. The other 7.59, almost 7.6 million UPIX came from the Upland prize pool. Now, that includes all of the racers who signed up to race, or all of the Upland citizens that signed up to race.
So those are the ones that in the in-game store that said 30,000 UPIX to join the racing season. They clicked that, paid their 30,000 UPIX, and that goes to the prize purse.
Correct. And so with everybody signing up there, we had a total of 253 signups on the board. And I want everybody to take a look at something real quick, because 253 signups. Okay. So that means, and now the board was up, or the signups were up through Friday of week number 2. Okay. So through Friday was the last day that you could purchase the pass. Yeah. See, WW Dog donated 30K. Now, if you're donating, if you're grabbing the pass because you want to support racing and you want to support this level of racing, then man, you guys are awesome. I just want to say that. We so appreciate it. But I also want to say I would like to see, because if you look at this board right now, in week number 1, right down here at the bottom, you can see we only had 56 drivers do a qualifying run on week 1.
So almost 200 people didn't participate.
Correct. So that means only 1/5 of the people who purchased the pass are actually out on the track. Last week it was down to 46 drivers that
I
were only
mean, I know
participating.
there's generous Uplanders out there, but man, I don't think they're this
They're
generous.
not that many. I just don't see it. So I guess my point to this whole thing is, obviously, when we move forward into next season, and the following season and the following season after that, and then, then we're into Genesis. But as we go forward, I just want, number one, I want to make sure that everybody who is purchasing the pass is either A, purchasing it because they want to support racing and that's their way to do it. And there's other ways to do it too. Obviously, grabbing a pass and donating UpX to it is one way. Grabbing a sponsorship is another way, obviously more expensive. And then, that's awesome. But if you're purchasing the pass because you didn't know or didn't read or didn't pay attention to what the pass was, or the communication wasn't what you thought it should be so that you understood what the pass was, then that's where I want to fix that problem. And then I also want to say, I wouldn't expect an 8 million UpX prize purse every season. I think the expectation is a little bit too high. Yes, this is the first season. Yes, I'm super stoked that the prize pool is that high, but I just don't think that should be the expectation for every season, because I just don't see that as a continuing thing. So just putting it out there.
No, so I came up with I thought of something as you were talking about that. Maybe next season you have the purchase for the racing pass to race, and then you also have like different levels of donations to support the racing league. For people
Mm-hmm.
that say, I don't want to race, but I want to support these racers, and maybe you have a 10K, 25K, 50K, whatever, have like
Yeah.
three levels of donation. So I'd be interested to see what that would look like, if you give the ability
Yeah.
to donate to it, and then that way who's racing, who's interested in racing. And I would like to see, maybe some push notifications that if hey, this person has this pass and they haven't done a qualifying time on this track and it's been 2 days into the qualifying, give them a push notification. Hey, just a reminder, you bought your racing pass and here's the track and you have till this time, maybe 2 push, because you don't want to overburden people with the push notifications, but yet at the same time, you want them to get their UpX worth.
Right. And Swirly, I agree with you. I think there should be some sort of a pass that you get as a memento, or a souvenir for your donation, whether you intend to race or not. Um, there is a mechanic issue that goes along with that, and that is that because mementos are sellable on the open market, and because the purchase of that is what actually gets your name on this leaderboard to show up on the leaderboard, then we have to talk about, okay, at some point there has to be a snapshot, or there has to be, if they're tradable, there has to be something that says, these people actually have the pass, which I know they've done snapshots before. It's something certainly to think about. But I agree with you. I think there should be some sort of a tradable tangible past that goes on with it.
And
Yes, and Mitch, that's you bring up something else that's fairly interesting that I would like to talk about a little bit as well, and that's the markups on boosts and things like that. And I've asked that we have some, hopefully at some point here fairly soon we have some sort of a boost sale. Um, Yeah. Oh, that would be a good idea, Swirly. But I think the markups on some of these booths are really over the top. I mean, you paid 4,000 UPIX for a boost package. You got four with an opportunity to get some gold and some white and some black and whatever. But I've seen some of the gold boosts out there going for 30,000, 40,000, 50,000 UPIX, which to me is, the markup is just that's too much. That's insane. And if you really want to sell the things, be sensible about it. Bring your prices down a little bit. It's hard to create an economy around the boosts and around racing when it's like that. So a couple of things have to happen. We need to flood the market with more boosts because that'll drive the price down, right? And that will let more people entertain the idea of racing. Because if racing is so expensive that it's out of reach, then you're limiting your audience. And so, I think there needs to be something that happens that boosts that economy a little bit, and it has to be, people need to lower their prices a little bit. Now I'm not saying don't make a profit. Don't get me wrong. I think everything should, you should be able to make a profit on everything, but there's something times when it gets taken to the extreme, and that's the first thing. And then the second thing is we need a sale from Upland. We need a boost sale to stimulate that market a little bit and try to bring the prices down because you know
now I would like to see here in this racing season more of these boosts put in, because if you're going to allow boosts in these races, you got to have the supply there. And we've talked a few times on this show, but even the prices that they were initially selling it at, it was too high. I'd like them to
Mhm,
see them bring it way down, make them very affordable, because you have your seasons, and if you're throwing 30,000 UPX in each season to race, that's a commitment if you're racing in all the seasons. And now you have the ability to boost, and
mhm,
especially some of these racers, once they figure out, if they figured out which boosts they like, and once they figure out which boosts work well on which
mhm.
tracks, you just got to make it available, as
Yeah.
you said. So,
And
up.
I also think that I think we need to have more series. I think there needs to be, maybe an S2 series or an S4 series or something where boosts are not used, and do, some time trial runs or do, there's a lot of different things that can be done. Um, you know, this is pretty much just the championship side of racing where, for those who have already invested in it up to this point and who spend a lot of time on the track, and yeah, I agree with that, CP. The boost amounts need to be fixed a little bit. That would help as well because like some of, you go to add on some boosts, you can't really get a car to say, if you're trying to get a 1R up to a 240 MPS, you can do it. It doesn't really set up your car the way you need it to be set up, though. And then you end up trying to set it up as best you can and may fall a little bit short on that 240 MPS score, like a 238 or a 236 or something along those lines. So, I think that, I think multiple series, I think boost sales, and just making sure that the people that are racing in the championship series, number one, know that they're racing in the championship series, and understand what they're kind of getting into when they do it.
No, absolutely.
Yeah. So that's it. That's racing for this week.
But it's still crazy. Almost a 9 million UpX purse.
Yeah. Yeah. Which is just nuts. That's that's just crazy. So, I mean, so what that means is, and for those of you who contributed and haven't raced, I just want to, kind of understand something. If you place in the top 12 one time, you've earned you've earned your UpX back. The top 12 right now, because 12th place earns 31,688 UpX in one race. So one race in the top 12, and you've got your UpX back. 3 races in the top 24, and you're close. So just information for people. I want people to understand what they're doing.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, 100%. 100%.
And definitely excited just to see how this season shakes out, and then how any changes, that lessons learned from this season, are implemented. And hopefully, as we go into this season, we can get more of the boosts available for the people that want to use them.
Yeah. And I'm gonna throw out a quick plug one more time. And for anybody that wants to race, I race in another series as well, because it's the only way that I can race, because I can't race in this one. But if you go to the Ultimate Garage, hit their Discord server, they do a ton of different events. They race, and they do specific cars. So it's, a lot like what the URL did when they first started. Was, we had specific cars that all ran equal, and that sort of thing. So, hit them up. It's a lot of fun. We have a ton of fun on race day. And they race different days than the URL does. So, and it's definitely a way to get in there, start getting some practice in, learning how to race really well. Yeah, there you go. Crowley in the house. So, those guys do a great job, and I can't say enough that between them and us, I think there's so much racing going on that you should be able to get out there and learn how to do it really, really well. And then maybe, at one point, are able to compete well in this type of a series that we run. and if you're, and you can come in voice chat on race day and listen to me cuss all the time, because I go crazy when I'm on the track.
Oh, that's awesome. Thank you so much, Mass, for the updates this week.
My pleasure. And don't forget, tomorrow's racing happens 6:30 p.m. Eastern time, 3:30 Pacific. So
That's
we
so
have
weird.
we have alternating race times this season. So 6:30 p.m. Eastern time are the races tomorrow. Don't forget to check us out over on the Metaverse Racing News Network on YouTube. And yeah, we will see you on the track.
All right. Thanks, Mass. Have a good one.
Have a good one, man.
All right. Let's start giving some stuff away. Now, oop, there we go. All right. Giving some stuff away. Why am I so low? Usually I'm up high in the screen. Kind of weird. All right. So we'll give some stuff away. We did finish the high school, and thanks to everybody that participated in that. And the interesting thing is I said that the competition would run for 1 week following. Some people decided to continue staking, and other people, once the high school finished, did not restake, and that's okay. And that just means more. It just means more for everybody that continued to stake. So we did finish the high school. And it looks nice, and the whole complex will end up looking nice. I got to rearrange my pine trees around there, and get all my Christmas decorations out from there. But this whole plaza will be very nice, and excited to watch this fully get developed. And there's still more room to add more things to it. So I'm excited for that. We do have 12 people that continued to stake, and we'll start giving stuff away there. So it will be all UpX prizes this week, no map assets. So everybody wins UpX. And ooh, that's way too loud. We'll turn that down there. All right. Prize. We're going to go right in the middle. And we'll do 10,000 UpX. I'm Redbeard. Congratulations there, sir. 10,000 UpX. All right. Next one. We'll go 5,000 UpX. Courier, you just love winning that 5,000 UpX. Congratulations. All right. 15,000 UpX. AKA 9 Fingers. Congratulations. 15,000 UpX is yours. All right, next one. 5,000 UpX. Sured. Congratulations. 7,7500 UpX. Babs. Congratulations. All right, we'll do 10,000 UpX. Congratulations, John Fitzwell. All right, this one, 25,000 UpX. Baza, congratulations. Baza. All right. This one will be for 15,000 UpX. The unpronounceable wins again. Cleaned up pretty well in this staking. Thank you so much. And 10,000 UpX. World's greatest. Congratulations. This one, 5,000 UpX. Mikey, congratulations. This one will be for 25,000 UpX, and the one that doesn't win gets 7,500. Good luck, fellas. Congratulations there, Trendy Prop. You get 25,000 UpX. And 707, you get 7,500 UpX. Thanks everyone for staking. Really do appreciate that. It's been fun. And you guys have and gals have led my supply of UpX. But I do appreciate getting that complex built and all that. So thank you so much. Yeah, you did forget to restake, but that's okay. That's okay. All right. So this week, Upland did announce week 13 of, there we go. Had to grab the right. What is, okay. Week 13 of the service structures, which was nice. We had a crepe stand. I mean, that one was very creative. Post office, everyone needs a post office. The veterinarian clinic and the neighborhood police station. What I was disappointed in was I was excited last week when we had the service structures that were available for UpX that are permanent. I was hoping to see more this week. I mean, they don't have to release 7 each week. They can do whatever they want. Not my game. But I was excited to see that. Disappointed to not see that this week. Hopefully next week we get to see more of these service structures for UpX, because we want the game to be fun. We want the game to have the people that don't want to put the money in have the ability to participate in building this stuff. Yes, there's the construction hub coming up, but once again, to me, having the construction hub is going to be useful, especially for the US dollar service structures. But let's just not limit it to that. Let's get more people involved in the game, give them the opportunity to use their UpX and to get service structures to build out their neighborhoods. Yeah, it's just not always about the US dollar. I understand they got to keep the lights on. I do get that. And it's tempting each and every week. There's a lot of weeks I'm like, I'm not buying it. And most weeks I do break down and end up buying it. But to have UpX options for people, I think the community liked it last week. Sad that it wasn't continued this week. Hopefully they start populating more of those buildings there. And then they have the harvest season score challenge, and it's the builder score. So once again, the ornaments, map assets, structures, and Spark. So pretty much the same style, scores and collector scores have they done in the previous seasons. Still can't get a hold of one of those badges, but I mean, it's kind of cutthroat to get a hold of those badges for that. But looking forward to the resident score rolling out in phase 1 of life coming out this season. So we are through the first week of the season. Looking forward to seeing how this all builds out. And they're still continuing those competitions. Big news this week was the article about the newborn to iconic, our first look at Uppy's progression and gameplay. Yeah, you're right. The Spark buying challenge. I'm sorry. I was just trying to get to the most exciting article of the week. But yes, that's correct. Thanks, Warley. So we look at the first Uppy progression and gameplay. I did find, it was nice that they laid out the cultural and collectible value of it and gameplay and utility. I did find it interesting. They laid it out that, hey, a level 1's a newborn, a level 2 is a toddler, level 3 is a child, 4 is a teen, and then 5+ is an adult. So that was interesting that they laid the Uppies out. I'm still trying to figure out, do I like it? Do I not like it? I'm still forming my opinion on that. Now, they also have the iconic parody Uppy, and those are extremely rare. We've seen them. They look like famous people, but they are obtainable by merging 2 level 10 Uppies. And I do like this whole merging thing. And it's just, 2 level 1s gives you a level 2, 2 level 2s give you a 3, so on and so forth. And I'm more intrigued. They keep hinting to this mini game about discovering the Uppies. It says they just won't appear, that you'll be discovering them through upcoming Uppy discovery mini game. And They said they'll reveal it in the future. Very mysterious. And I'm with you there, WW Dog. I want to know how hard the mini game's going to be. I'd like to have a little more clarity there, other than just, hey, we're going to have a mini game. So is it something that you grind? Is it something that's going to be super easy? Is it going to be somewhere in between? And it says it will allow you to find and mint uppies. The more common an uppie, the easier it is to discover. And rare uppies will be significantly harder. And then it says only an extremely small number of high-level uppies will ever be discovered this way. So most of your high-level ones are going to be coming from doing the merging to get your high level. And it says the discovery will follow a seasonal model. So we're used to all the seasons, and each season offering a new limited supply of discoverable uppies, making each season a focused opportunity to grow your collection. So very intrigued to see how that works. It says level 1, there's going to be 10,000 total mints, all discoverable via the mini game, and 500 unique designs within that pool. They have all the breakdowns of the different levels. And then they jump into Lowry season salt is good. Thanks, TM. Are you back in the country yet? Or are you still somewhere around the world? Then they started talking about uppies above a specific level will be eligible for employment in service structures. And it will give a greater boost provided to... Yeah, I asked 2 questions and you gave me 1 answer. Sorry. But it says the higher level the uppie, the greater the boost provided. So it gives you an incentive to level up and strategically place your uppies. But still, this is still very high level. Me being in this game for almost 6 years now, coming up in January will be 6 years. I will be looking just to see more clarity on this. Right now, this is just big picture stuff, and just want more details and see how it all pans out. So I'm still excited for the uppies, the residents, and all that stuff, but I wasn't as moved by this article as some other people were, just because it gives you a high overview. So we need to get the residents launched, life launched, and start getting these uppies going. So we'll see how that goes. Jeez, TM. Jeez, oh geez, TM. I don't know about you sometimes, my friend. Really don't. But we are a week away from the Midwest meetup. Very excited to have that going on. That will be held. I'm looking for a spot to meet up. It looks like we're going to have enough people on Friday evening. We'll just meet up somewhere and hang out Friday night, and activities will kick off on Saturday morning. We got a couple landmarks to hit, some ultra rare properties to hit. We'll have a good time. Scan the QR code that gets you into the Discord. We'll have about... You'll be there Thursday and Saturday. All right. Thanks, TM. Yeah. And also, if people are interested, the Browns play the Dolphins that day on Sunday, the 19th. So we could go hit up tailgates. Yeah. How about yeah, JT, you guys got lucky. How about that Browns game? Yeah. Anyway, so we're hitting some landmarks. We're hitting some ultra rares. We're going to talk Upland, put names to faces, have a good time, see old friends that we've seen at Genesis Week, meet new friends. Excited to meet some of the people. Uppies are not released in game yet, and they're not in homes yet. It's just more talk about it. But yeah, excited to do that. It looks like we'll have somewhere around 10 to 12 people. So We are not going there, TM. We're not trying to get fellow Uplanders killed. You know better. Please, nobody go there. It's a real rough community in Cleveland, so we will not go there. Jeez, TM, we're trying to have people come out and have fun with us, and you're trying to send them off to bad places where they might not come back from because they don't know any better. So, yeah. Anyway, excited for that. And if you can't make the Midwest meetup, don't forget they have the West Coast meetup hosted by Mesme and Shacklin, and Dirk will be there. And that's Friday, November 7th and Saturday, November 8th. So if you're out on the West Coast, I know they're getting a lot of confirmations there too. Always a good time when you get to hang out with fellow Uplanders. I mean, I'd go to Glenville before I go. Stop it, TM. All right. Anyway, pretty short show this week, but hopefully everybody has a good week. Can't wait to see some people next. Well, I almost forgot the big thing. Next week, we have City Pigeon and Upland Puppet. They're going to be on the show. City Pigeon has some stuff going on, so they can't do their show Wednesday. So they're going to come join me Thursday night, and we'll have an amazing show leading up to the Midwest meetup. So everybody be safe, have fun, and we'll see you next week.